Hi, I'm Yash. I'm currently based out of Dubai, but I'm originally from Jaipur, Rajasthan. I did my undergrad from University of Delhi, and I'm currently working at this company called Careem in the strategy and M&A team as a senior manager. Previously, I was working with McKinsey in India. I secured two admits, Stanford and Columbia, and quite frankly, it wouldn't have been possible had I not gotten Amrit on board pretty early on. I spoke to a couple of consultants before getting Amrit, and I think the biggest difference was that there is a genuine respect that you have for Amrit because he's someone who's gone through the process himself. He's from Booth, McKinsey, he's been a CEO. So you naturally, look up to him and say that he knows the process, he knows his stuff inside out. So I think that was a big standout for me. And like I wanted to apply to the big four or big five schools, and many of the consultants, they were like, hey, why do you want to do this, it's too risky, etc. But none of them wanted to understand my story, like where am I coming from. And this is where again, like Amrit, he tried to understand what do you want to do, what are your ambitions. And he saw where I'm from, and like he saw where I want to do, what I want to do, and that's where to bridge that gap, he worked with me to create a story. And it was school by school, so it wasn't like we had like a blanket story across all four schools. We would tailor it depending on the school's needs. Second thing, I think Amrit is always available. I haven't seen him cancel any of my calls. He has this booking portal, which is pretty amazing, especially for people like me who like to have things ahead of time on their calendars. So it was pretty great. And then lastly, I think he's very honest. Because I feel this application process, you have so many questions, you can go either ways, right? You can create like a huge narrative which you think is great, but then it might not sound as great to the adcom. And this is where Amrit comes in. Like he tries to narrow in on what your strengths are. We start from a huge nest of things, and then we eventually narrow it down to what are probably the standout stories across my career, my personal background, and my academic background. And then once you have handpicked those stories, and Amrit is again like very brutally honest, saying that hey, I mean, it sounds awesome to you, but frankly, it's like pretty average. So I think having that reality check throughout the process is also great. I would just say that all in all, I secured admits from Stanford and Columbia. And again, it wouldn't have been possible without Amrit. So I totally and absolutely recommend anyone to him who's looking for someone who can strike a quick rapport with students and who's also very structured in his approach. Because I think the process is very chaotic. You have so many questions, so many schools, so many things to do, and having someone who has that structure in place, having that thought process in place, and having gone through this process multiple times with candidates like me, it really helps. So just go for Amrit, and if you have any questions, I'm also happy to answer them. Thanks.